Uniting our community on 105 FM. Calon FM.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. 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 I'm going downtown tonight. What's going on?
So, here we go then. What's going on in and around the Wrexham area that you can take your darling gal tonight? Well, it's that time of year, girls and boys, and every town, every city, and almost every theatre in the country will be holding its Pantomime. And Theatr Clwyd is first out of the stocks this week with the opening of Dick Whittington. And as usual, it's the legendary rock and roll pantomime. And this show is absolutely off the scale. Right, I'll tell you this, right? It is what I would call an ensemble piece. And that means that every single member of the cast is always busy. And of course it has its lead characters, etc, but everyone is absolutely fantastic and so talented as well. And well, so much so I'm going to read them all out. I'm going to read them all to you. Mr. Royce Cronin, he is playing the King Rat, and he is brilliant, absolutely fantastic. And we got Toby, Falla, Phylip, Harries, Daniel, Lloyd, Alice, McKenna, Peter, Mooney, Lynwen, Roberts, a bit of a mouthful. Emmy, Stonelake, Luke, Thornton, and Anna, Westlake. And this show kicked off, as I say, properly on Tuesday night of this week, and had a little bit of drama as Dick Whittington, as the opening, just before it opened, the leading lady, Emmy Stonelake, she hurt her leg, rushed to hospital, and hasn't been able to join the cast so far in the run. But do not fear, because the assistant director, Francesca Goodridge, she stepped into the fold and is absolutely amazing. She is absolutely superb in the part of Alice. And so anyway, I popped up there on Tuesday night for the press night, and I caught a word with Daniel Lloyd, a Wrexham actor, a Wrexham boy from the Llanelli Grog. Been practicing, can you tell? That's Daniel Lloyd and Theatr Clwyd pantomime legend Phylip Harris, and friend of the show, Mr. Christian Patterson, who has written the whole thing. So, who should we start with? Should we start with Daniel? Yeah, why not? Here they are, the boys, the cast, and the creatives of this year's Dick Whittington up at Theatr Clwyd.
So this is awesome, man. What a great gig to get. You've done a few before, haven't you? Now you've come back.
Yeah, so like I said, I did my first Panto here in 2005, and I played Dick Whittington then, and I was a bit green and a bit wet behind the ears, and absolutely loved it, and that audience response was unbelievable. So I stayed, and I came back every year, and I've done different parts. I kind of did the Wally, the Billy Idiot character, and then I came back and did Jack and the Beanstalk, and then as I've got older, I've progressed into these more character roles. So I've played Wally Fitzwarren before, and loads of other things here over the years. But I took a bit of a break from it about 3 years ago because I got two little kids, so I just wanted to have Christmas off, because I hadn't had Christmas off up until that point for about 15 years. Mm-hmm. And one of those years I was in the West End doing a show as well. I was in the Commitments there with Pete, who's playing Dick now, as it happens. So I kind of thought, I need to have a couple of Christmases off. And then in the meantime, the creative team has changed, and of course this year they got a new writer, Phil, who I first worked with back in 2004, and he took me under my wing. Yeah. So that chemistry that we have on stage, none of that is fake. Like he's looked after me. I've known him since I graduated practically. So,
but it's quite literally like a double act.
Yeah, well,
it works so well.
We've always had them little moments like that through the years that have developed. But this script from Christian that has lent itself to that double act, really coming to the fore this time. Yeah, where it hasn't maybe been as to the forefront as it's been in the past. So of course now we're milking it for all it's worth. You know? And we're having a ball up there every night. We're having a right laugh, and we're constantly adding gags and new things every night. So there's new things tonight that weren't in the other night. And
really,
yeah, and you got to change it up and you got to keep listening. And it's a long run as well. We've got 76 performances to get through, and you've got to kind of recreate that energy and make that fresh as you can every night. Yeah. So it's those little changes, those little tweaks, those little additions. Those are the things that kind of keep it fresh and keep it moving on.
Yeah. Because logistically as well, I mean, it's a real nice gig to get, apart from the fact it's near your home.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. I'll be taking my kids to school tomorrow morning. I'll be there for breakfast with them, getting them in their school uniform. Yeah. I take them off to school and then I come here and do some shouting and singing and dancing and all of that.
Fantastic.
It's a very intensive 4-week rehearsal process, then a tech process, which is kind of like 12-hour days, which is really grueling, and that's difficult in terms of not being home much. The reward is that you get to do it in front of an amazing audience every night that are really appreciative of it, and that's what keeps you going, really.
Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 Guess who's back?
Let me ask you then, Phil, because I don't know if you're aware, but people have been almost shouting from the rooftops that they wanted you to come back. No disrespect to anybody that's been in your absence,
right.
But that must be an amazing feeling for you.
It's a lovely feeling. To be honest, you're there on the stage and you look out and you see faces that you know, and not only that you know the faces, you know their names as well.
Yeah.
Because this is number 12 now for me up here, and you see, kids have grown up with you, and you've seen kids growing up from. You've shouted out their names since they were babies, Yeah. But I have to say, what really dragged me back was the Christian script, because it's fantastic, and it's so full of fun and solid, and Christian knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah. So it's great.
Yeah, but I mean, as Tamara just said then in there, that multi-talented individual, superb actor. You're going to be directed in here next year. And,
are you talking about me?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't recognise it from the description. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Theatr Clwyd have always offered me masses of opportunity since the first time I walked in through the door in 1997, and thankfully the relationship is still as strong as ever. I've written this panto. I'm directing next year, and I think that puts me, so I'm told, in a bracket of one of the only people that has written a standalone show, been in the company of a show and directed. So that to me means more than anything, because I'm so proud of this building. I have such a lot of love and respect for this building, to be a part of its history. I've been coming here for 21 years now. When did you walk through the door, Phil?
Well, technically, back in the 1980s, in the old HTV studio, I did some shows there.
Right.
And then I worked for Theatr Clwyd in 96 then, just before Terry took over. I did 2 shows for that kind of period in 96. So,
but it feels like home, doesn't it?
Oh, that's exactly it. I mean, it is. It's a hell of a feeling. You just feel like you're coming home. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, Mole for me is very important, because I didn't meet my wife here, but I went out with my wife in the Mould Eisteddfod in 1984. It's all things have always dragged me into Mould, so
funny enough, I met my wife in Mould, which was a surprise, because I thought she was in Swansea. But there we are. So I haven't quite switched off yet, but
he's writing next year.
Yeah, no, he's always working. Always working.
But Phil Harris, for my money, is one of those dames. I go and see Panto a lot, and Phil's one of those dames that you go born to do this role, absolutely born to do it. So, obviously, as you've said before, in Phil's absence over the last couple of years, other people have played it and stuff like that, and that's not to denigrate what they've done. They did a marvellous job and everything like that, but, they're not Phil Harris at the end of the day. And the first thing I knew when I was going to do, when Phil said he was doing the show, was I was definitely putting in Guess Who's Back again, you know, the Eminem.
Yeah.
Because I knew that the audience would go, oh, here he comes, and the warmth, the applause that they give him as he comes on, you know, it's second to none.
And everybody gets that. Everybody gets that joke. So I mean, the audiences are obviously like coming back to the same.
Yeah, it's a funny one. Christian is the same because Christian is resident in Stoke, and I'm sure you get the same feeling there. It just feels like you do pantos in other places, and you know you have a really good time, and it's lovely, and everybody's fantastic. But there are some places where you have that connection more than others, and for me, it's Mold.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you ever considered doing stand-up comedy?
No, I don't think. It's a difficult one. That I kind of do a job in Cardiff in the castle where I am MC Welsh banquets.
Right. Okay.
And that is very similar.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the actual stand-up comedy. I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
I tell you one thing. It's one of those things that I always say to people that know me, I'd love to have a go at it. I'd love to, but there's a massive difference between being funny with your mates and standing on that stage. I've got such a lot of respect for stand-up comedians. I think what they do is phenomenally brave. Because, you know, we open ourselves up to rejection all the time, of course, right? You audition for something, you don't get it, you know, it's a form of rejection. But for them, it could be a night after night thing, you know. And those that break through, for every one that breaks through, there's probably 100 that have broken down. You know, that's the...
And I'm guessing as well, most of them are actually themselves doing the stand-up. Although there's a kind of a structure to their evening, to the script, it's basically themselves, isn't it? Whereas, you know, as dames, we can hide behind that frock. And I've actually noticed that when I do some jokes as a man, they don't work half as well as when you're a dame. Because it's just a little bit too near the knuckle as a man, you know. As a character, as a dame, they accept it more.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So just logistically, so writing it, have you started writing next year's already?
I'm forever writing gags. Forever writing gags. I know Phil's got a book as well, but I've got a book that, you know, I'm constantly writing things that I like the sound of. And, you know, I was just talking about... I've never been keen on the thought of writing a Mother Goose, but just recently I went to see a friend of mine who does a lot of design, and he said, "Oh, you showed us a marvellous panto," and I'm coming round to it, the idea of writing Mother Goose, and one of the thoughts that went straight through, so this is how my brain works. Oh, okay, well, if I did Mother Goose, I know what I do. The chase sequence would be, there's a goose loose about this hoose, you know, immediately you go, and then the next thing you're going, and that would be, and before you know it, I'm writing things that, my problem is that when I read, but I have to write by hand, not scripts, I write them on the computer, but I have to write ideas down by hand because my brain goes too quick for the speed that I can type. But half the stuff I write is completely illegible, you know. So when somebody
dictaphone.
I know, when somebody fluffs a line in the panto, I'm thinking, wait a minute, did I write that?
Well, there's so many things in it tonight when I was thinking, has that been written? Because it works so well, you know. I can't say what they are because
No.
I mean, give this man carte blanche, though. Phil Harris can have carte blanche because he knows where the line is. He'll know where the line is night after night because it's not a fixed line in the sand, is it?
No, it's not.
Tomorrow's audience, you'll sense.
We've had four shows so far, isn't it? So the first night was completely different. The first night was like that rush of adrenaline that we've all felt from coming from tech into dress rehearsal. Emmy hurting her leg, so you just release. And the things that, you know, it was a long show on the first night because we were just all, you know, just leaving ourselves go. Then the next two nights were more restrained, and tonight we were all feeling on top of the world, so that was a little bit looser again, you know. And we stick to the script, but of course when something happens, you go in and out of it, and that's the beauty of a good script, is that you can go in and out of it without any, without it being derailed in any way. So that's thanks to Christian, that is, you know.
Yeah.
Big thanks.
And also as well, just the casting of it. I mean,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
like it's almost like a super cast. It's multi-talented. They don't even just like play one instrument off them, and they're all. You look over, someone's playing the drums, and then they're playing the saxophone, and then it's incredible. You wouldn't even know where to find them if you tried.
Exactly. Well, it was great for me when Dan Lloyd was back because Dan has done as many pantos as I have here, and we know each other very well. We've done so many shows together, so that was brilliant. And then Peter Mooney I'd worked with earlier this year, and I thought, oh, he's lovely. And he just told me out of the blue, oh, by the way, I'm doing a panto up in Theatr Clwyd. You what? I couldn't believe it. So that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then the other people, they're all, you know, absolutely wonderful, and they're all picking up things, you know. So it's just great.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Having been in rehearsals and watched some of the rehearsals, and through to watching the last rehearsal run, then watching the first preview, and now coming back the first night. I mean, it's staggering how far it moves in that short space of time. But here's the thing, with any theatre show, the last ingredient is the audience. That's the last thing to be put into place. However, in a panto, because of the nature of it, they're actually the last cast member to be put into place. Because they obviously they shout things like, it's behind you, oh yes he is, oh no he isn't, and all that sort of stuff. But they contribute to the evening in the way that if you come into a play, it's more passive.
Yeah.
You know, so they are literally the last character in the panto.
Yeah.
And they change every night.
We do.
We do. Especially with little kids. I mean, if you got, you know, little kids shouted out something tonight that actually ended up in the show, but you know, it was great. Well, gents, all the best with it. You're in for the long run, aren't you? It's
19th of January we're here till.
That's
so
amazing. That's like,
come and see us.
Including rehearsals, that's like 3 months.
That's right. It's a great job, 3-month job, and you know, these days, any days really, it's a great chunk of work for an actor.
Yeah.
You know, you're safe over Christmas and all that. And, what better place to be over Christmas than Theatr Clwyd Mold?
Absolutely, yeah, brilliant. And you're going to Stoke, so
I'm off to Stoke to
good luck with that. And,
Friar Tuck, and I can probably say this on your radio station, because if I said it in Stoke, I'd be giving the trick away. But everyone's saying to me, oh, I can't believe you're not Dame this year, can't believe you're not Dame this year. Well, halfway through the show, I disguise myself as a woman and swap from, in the second half I'm completely Dame then, and I swap from Friar Tuck to Shania Tuck. To Man, I Feel Like a Woman. I mean, come on, it's writing itself.
Fantastic. And we'll see you here in, when is it?
I start the rehearsal period on March 25th,
right.
and we come up here then the first week of April, and I think we open around about the 18th, I think, but do ask your listeners to check the Theatr Clwyd website for that. But it's a beautiful book written by Jacqueline Wilson, adapted by Emma Reeves, who's a local girl.
Yeah, I know.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we're very, very excited about bringing it here.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Cheers, gents.
Thank you very much.
Lovely. Take it easy. Thanks a lot. So there you go, that's Daniel Lloyd, Phylip Harris and Christian Patterson from this year's rock and roll panto up at Theatr Clwyd. It's a belter. Okay, so let me just reiterate what Christian was saying there about this thing that's opening at the beginning of next year. It's the Jacqueline Wilson Wave Me Goodbye. That's going to be directed by Christian. Ultra talented guy, that fella. Very, very funny. Brilliant actor as well. So, that is going to be adapted by local lass, as he says, Emma Reeves, who I've known since I was a young boy, since I was a mere teen. And the kids will know Emma. She has done a lot of work for the BBC. And she wrote Tracy Beaker and Young Dracula and The Worst Witch, to name just a few of amazing amount of work she's done for the BBC. All children's work as well, by the looks of it, and she is awesome. That's Emma Reeves, and she is adapting this Wave Me Goodbye. Kicks off in Theatr Clwyd on the 23rd of April, and it runs until the 4th of May. And also as well, coming up in December in Theatr Clwyd, Hansel and Gretel. It's a fairy tale detectives. That kicks off on the 14th, as I say, the 14th of December, runs until the 6th of January, and that is a collaboration between Theatr Clwyd and the Paperfinch Theatre. Anybody that saw their recent work, the last 2 years, they did the Nutcracker, and last year they did the Snow Queen, and what it is, it's a fully immersive play for, it's directed at under 11s and their families, but I took my daughters to see it, she's nearly 18, right? It is awesome. Their work is fantastic, and the kids get fully involved. Nobody gets left out. And let me just reiterate as well, Dick Whittington is on in Theatr Clwyd from the 23rd of November, so it's already opened, until the 19th of January. To get tickets for this show, 01352 701 521. That's 01352 701 521. Go ahead, support your local theatres, girls and boys. They won't be there forever if you don't.
It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show. It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show. It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show. It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show.